Good afternoon. In this brief talk, I will explain to you why Amish singing represents a third way, neither art nor craft. I think it's important that I tell you a little bit about the Amish. They're descendants of the Anabaptists who lived in Zurich, Switzerland in 1525. One of them was named Ulrich Zwingli, who was a priest, and his belief was there should be no trappings of popery in the church. And so he removed things like the censer with its incense, candles, stained glass, and he also believed there should be no organ or any other instruments beside the human voice, which he saw as the most pristine sound on earth, and this should be used in praise of God. The Anabaptists believed in rebaptizing adult believers who'd been baptized as infants. They didn't recognize that baptism. The state, on the other hand, believed that baptism would grant admission both to the church and the state, and they tracked down and imprisoned and even killed many Anabaptists, including the man in this picture who's being drowned. Some fled to the Palatinate of Germany. Others went in directions like the Netherlands. Some became more absorbed back into the culture as they were in the Netherlands. And the Mennonites, who were following Menno Simons there, were the target of a breakaway group that was led by Jacob Amen in 1693. They were trying to purify the Mennonite group. Some of these went to the United States and in the 1700s. And the thing that really was the problem there was that they also became swallowed up by their neighbors. The surrounding culture was just too enticing. By 1950, there were so few Amish in the United States that there were researchers like Gertrude Enders Huntington was told, you better study the Amish before they disappear. Right about that time, there was a shift in and a new trend of growth that I think is related to an emphasis on personal salvation, urging people to commit themselves to faith in Jesus Christ, as well as a rebound or backlash to the consolidation of rural schools with the growth of the Amish private school movement. Children had been going to schools with non-Amish, and this caused them to have relationships that butted into marriage and caused people to move away. Well, the Amish private school keeps children within the same group and limits their marriage choices. Also, Sunday schools were developed by the New Order, Amish, as well as youth groups. Men sings to revive and improve the singing of the Ausbund songs. People who could sing the songs would come on Friday nights during the winter when the work was less and help men learn how to sing the Ausbund songs. And single girl sings for women to get together who and quilt or make greeting cards and just enjoy being together. All these were reinforced by singing. Singing was the gathering feature, the gathering event for those activities. Many were leaving the Amish prior to 1960. Today, that trend has been reversed, and more than 80% of Amish stay within the community. Despite the fact, really, that there are fewer children per family, an average of 6 to 7. Another piece that we need in order to understand where Amish music fits in this continuum of art and craft is to find some definitions, some historical definitions of both. Historically, philosophers have argued that craft is a low art because of its folk orientation and ongoing and adaptive component, whereas art is seen as high art because it emphasizes individual creativity and innovation. Art is intrinsically final, devoid of an end. It's a product of genius and demands interpretation. There are many who resist these categorizations, and some who even find them to be very biased, particularly in the direction of European white men. In the Amish way, hymns are supposed to transform the person, not the person transform the hymn. With the world in flux, the Amish culture is remarkably and purposefully resistant to change. Their culture is incredibly static, and there is no room for individual expression, which is not to say there isn't individual joy in singing. As they sing, the Amish give over their will to the group, as they do in so many ways in their lives, and they yield through singing these 450-year-old songs. The songs become, therefore, an icon of their faith, an oral, not art and not craft, painting. The Amish call their worship songs the martyr songs because they were penned by imprisoned Anabaptists. They sang these songs to the popular tunes of the day at a very, very slow pace so that the other prisoners would not dance to them. Today's Amish do rehearse these songs in many settings, in the worship setting, at home, and in the field, to maintain their integrity. Scholars have noted only rare changes, the loss of an accidental here, or an inversion of two notes, E to F instead of F to E, or one word in the text that was D becomes das in a different place and time. Otherwise, there is very little freedom, hardly any freedom in the interpretation. And the words, melodies, keys, and rhythm have all remained constant. The tempos, however, may vary. I know one song that the Old Order Amish sing for about 30 minutes. The same text is sung by the New Order Amish in about 20 minutes. You'll hear this song sung by some New Order Amish in just a minute. Interpretations as to the symbolic meanings do not sit well with the Amish worldview of simple, straightforward, plain communication and taking people at face value. Harmony also remains a rarity and in worship is anathema. New Order Amish groups at their Sunday night youth sings have increasingly crossed the line to sing 1940s era gospel songs in four-part harmony, as their Mennonite brothers and sisters have done for generations. So that is one place that harmony is used, but it's not with the Ausbund songs. These are the so-called fast songs and were adopted in the 18th century. They're generally metered and still sung at a slow walking pace of about 60 to 80 beats per minute, where the Ausbund songs use melismas of 3 or 4 notes per syllable of text, sometimes even more than 4 actually. The fast songs use 1 to 2 notes per syllable. The Amish first published this collection in 1821. These bodies of songs they choose to sing aid in their separation from the world. This is a cardinal principle of Amish life. The language is German, and the texts are full of thanksgiving and instruction about simple living. The following 2 phrases of a 4-stanza hymn, which is sung as the second hymn of every Amish worship service, follows. It's O God Vater, wir loben dich. The Amish sing to offer emotional release, to to inspire for survival, and to provide an outlet for praise and a means of connecting to the beyond self. As Immanuel Kant requires, it does advance social communication, as teaching and learning take place in every venue where singing occurs. Through song, Amish parents explain family expectations. Through song, teachers and children rehearse the tenets of their faith. Through song, youth interact with their friends and extended network, singing songs that urge them to accept the core values of their culture: yielding to God, humility, simplicity, respect for elders, mutuality and self-discipline, and acceptance of the commitments of their martyred ancestors. Amish singing is formative, life-affirming, community building, and community securing. It is not art in the sense of creative innovation. It is not craft in that there is little evolutionary character to it. It deserves its own category. The iconic character of the melodies and texts bring new meaning for a new time and place. The world has noticed this witness, and the Amish are increasingly seen as a bright light in a dark world.